The largest creatures on Earth live in the ocean. So how can we decipher their underwater secrets without altering their behavior? One man has dedicated his life to this quest. He offers marine biologists around the world a unique way of approaching the animals they study. He freedives. For scientists, he has become the eyes of the big blue. Who is this elegant link between myths and knowledge? Can he reconcile man with his ancestral fears of the unknown? Fred heads to Irian Jaya, west of Papua New Guinea. Whale sharks are essentially pelagic, but are sometimes found near the coast. They also roam the wild and isolated bay of Cenderawasih east of Indonesia. A local legend talks about large spotted sharks that are protected by benevolent spirits. For Fred, marine legends always contain elements of truth. He tries to follow Megan McCord's advice so that his work can contribute to a vast international survey.
The whale shark is the largest fish in the world. In the Pacific and Indian Oceans, they are often harpooned. Contrary to other shark species, their flesh is greatly appreciated and their famous fins are sold for high prices on the Asian markets. So this huge animal is very endangered. The idea is to take a picture of the same part of the shark's body, that is, its left side, around the pectoral fin and gill slits. And thanks to the characteristic marks of each whale shark, we'll be able to identify the individual. What's interesting is that to achieve this, scientists use software derived from a program that NASA uses to map constellations.
To document these underwater constellations, he must swim as fast as the giants. A near impossible operation at sea. Sharks are too quick. He needs to find an area where the sharks stop to rest in order to get to the bottom of the legend. In the Cenderawasih Bay, fishermen have installed makeshift boats for a fishing campaign. The Indonesians spend several months on these platforms that they call bagans. They fish at night with the help of powerful lights and nets. Attracted by the lamps, the ikanpuri, a species of anchovies, are retained by the fine mesh. Life on board is very simple and remains at the mercy of a generator which powers dozens of lamps through wet, rusty and stripped wires. It intermittently powers a freezer containing the catch of the day. With unreliable power, the fishermen have got used to keeping their anchovies alive in patched-up nets. The fish remain immersed in the hot, oxygenated water of the bay until a ship comes to collect them. And such a stock of fresh protein inevitably attracts the bay's biggest residents, the whale sharks. An opportunity for Fred and his quest for sedentary whale sharks. But why don't the fishermen hunt the sharks that steal their bread and butter?
Is it good to have whale shark around the Bagan?
When we fish at night, the sharks circle around our bagans and gather the anchovies together in our nets. They are our allies. It's thanks to them that our fishing is great.
And what's your relation with the whale shark?
They are attracted by our lights and follow the bagans as we move on. We attract them with nets full of anchovies and they find us thanks to the smell. As soon as they arrive, we fish an awful lot of anchovies. That's why we never hunt them.
Never?
No, never.
Thank you.
Fred has found a way to dive with the sharks attracted by the tempting net full of anchovies. But how will they react to the presence of an intruder underwater? These timid giants are used to men, but only on their skiffs. Fred remembers what he learned from the dives with the cow sharks. Let the shark approach. Under the bagan, he will use his extraordinary skill as a freediver to arouse the shark's curiosity and take pictures of them. From one bagan to the next, Fred Buyle enriches the scientific database with hundreds of photos. Learning alongside these sedentary fish is ideal. How to use the shark's force, where to be positioned, how to anticipate its movements, and the differences between one individual and the next. Being around whale sharks allows Fred to measure the distance between the reality of these encounters, no matter how magical, and the old representations of these animals.
Normally, you don't have the opportunity to observe all these things when you encounter a whale shark because they come and go. Here you really have time to work with them and learn lots of little things. This is typically an animal that can inspire a legend or a myth about sea monsters. The whale shark can measure between 18 and 20 meters. I imagine that back in the 15th or 16th century, some individuals could even reach 22 or 25 meters. Even an animal measuring 15 to 18 meters, if you don't know the creature and have no idea what it is, it's a monster. Also, at the time, they couldn't tell the difference between a white shark and a whale shark when they saw them at sea. So this is typically an animal that could inspire a legend. Also, with its skin with marks and dots, this animal appears quite mysterious. This is really something that could inspire a legend. It seems quite obvious.
Here's how you can dream up a sea monster by using the largest fish in the world as inspiration. Take a gigantic whale shark and give it the sharp teeth of small carnivorous sharks. Fred's next expedition takes him to a location filled with these small devils, back to South Africa and the seasonal sardine run.
The sardine run is one of nature's most impressive events. A gigantic number of sardines move together simultaneously. They form miles and miles of compact sardine shoals. During this mayhem, sardines are chased by countless predators. From dolphins to whales, various species of sharks, and marine birds.
But scientists are only interested in the sharks. Strange as it seems, the shoals are hard to find. To get near them, you need a fast inflatable boat, guided by a pilot spotting the shoals from the air. A costly combination.
Great shoal group spring off rough, 10 miles southeast of where you are. I'll guide you, just follow me. Hurry up, dudes. Hundreds of dolphins already got my message.
With a limited budget, Fred and his crew have only 2 days to complete an ambitious scientific program.
On the sardine run, we worked with Jessica Escobar, a scientist who studies the dynamics of the black-tipped shark populations. This is not the most significant population during the sardine run. This shark is quite common on the coasts of East and South Africa. She tries to point out the different family lineages of these sharks, to see if they have common origins, and up to what point the different populations present on the East and South African coasts are linked.
028 01.
What makes it complicated during the sardine run is that there are many species at the same time, many different sharks, but very few blacktips. This is not the most populous species during the sardine run. There are many dusky sharks and copper sharks, so the difficult part will be to concentrate on this precise species.
I'll text you the GPS coordinates, over.
Fortunately, the pilot spots a crowd of gannets that reveal the presence and location of the sardines. With a text message, he gives the boat directions.
All right, Mark says apparently you must move up to Hamburg, south from here. Guys, please do me a favor, hold on tight. It's a little bit rough out there, and it's a long drive. Hold tight.
Fred works on this project with his teammate, William Winram. Although he's over 50, he continues to participate in scientific expeditions and also in competitions and pursues free diving records. The two men share a strong and long-lasting friendship.
William Winram and I work as a team. He's a Canadian freediver. I met him in 2005 and I do almost all my missions with him. We're an inseparable pair.
Smell the sardine oil, huh? Woo! Look, yeah. No, my biggest concern.
What?
Get stabbed by one of the gannets when they die. No, really.
Yeah, but they kill themselves. They mistake and they hit something, break their neck. Could happen.
Yeah, but it would break yours as well.
For me, the most dangerous are gannets. Seabirds that hit the surface as they plunge from 25 meters up. They dive bomb at speeds up to 60 miles an hour and can go down to 10 meters just with their momentum. You need to be careful because a 6 or 7 centimeter beak can cause major wounds.
Yeah, maybe let's get in, huh?
Yeah. Okay.
A day on the sardine run is 9 or 10 hours on an inflatable boat, getting into the water 15, 20, 30, or sometimes 50 times. Because the sardine shoals move very quickly, the predation phases around which the activity is concentrated last a very short time. Sometimes it's only a few seconds, a few minutes at most, so it's really tiring. With conventional scuba gear or a rebreather, getting into the water is really tedious. When you freedive, you just jump off the boat and get in the water. It's more easily done.
Will gets in the water with a spear gun to collect samples of shark flesh that will be used to perform biopsies, essential for understanding the genetic lineage of these sharks.
We use standard spear guns for the biopsies, only the arrowhead has been modified. We just modified the tip to create a punch which collects a piece of the animal's flesh, so we can immediately bring it back to the boat and store it. During the sardine run here in South Africa, the greatest difficulty is that the visibility is not so good, and also that the water is cold, much colder than elsewhere. Both dusky and blacktip sharks that we come across during the sardine run look pretty much alike, especially with the poor visibility. The only way to distinguish them perfectly is to see the tip of their nose, and sometimes you only see a part of the animal.
Not easy under these circumstances to identify a shark.
It's good to work with Will and Fred. They have a lot of experience with the animals, so they can read them, and they're very efficient of seeing if the animal is going to be dangerous to them or not.
The dangers of the sardine run are all around you, since you find yourself in the midst of a shoal of sardines being chased by the planet's largest predators.
Gannets dive bombing very few sardines, invisible sharks. The task seems near impossible.
Oh, incredible. There's the explosion of the birds as they hit the water. Just boom, 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 boom. With dolphins. Really amazing. But there's no sharks.
They're not coming up to the surface like the dolphins are. They are definitely just waiting for the food to fall down in the water, come and actually take it deeper in the water, yeah.
Oof.
This means going deeper into colder, murkier water. A complicated job for these freedivers who have not eaten in order to increase their performances. An empty stomach burns less oxygen.
Before diving, we have to prepare ourselves. We don't eat before getting in the water. We just drink to stay hydrated. It's a question of common sense.
Dependent on sporadic text messages, the quest for elusive sharks puts a strain on the body.
We spent 10 to 12 hours at sea in very cold, harsh conditions. I knew it wouldn't be easy, but this time, it's even worse than I thought.
To locate the sharks, there's nothing like team effort. This time, Jessica joins Fred and Will. But she doesn't have their diving skills to get beneath the sardines and communicate with the sharks.
One way of inciting the encounter is to try and attract the sharks. Usually our mere presence attracts them, but with bad visibility, I often use throat noises. We make this kind of noise which tends to produce vibrations and imitate the sound of a wounded fish, and then the sharks usually come directly towards us.
They always use the same method, arousing the shark's curiosity. This time, in open water. They could shoot and collect a flesh sample, but it's not the right shark species. The arrow remains in its sheath. The black-tipped sharks did not show up. Jessica observes these hesitations from the surface, but what has she seen from above?
But the visibility is really, really poor.
I saw two black tips about 4 meters deep.
No, it's the duskies.
No, they were smaller
And
duskies.
it's not another species of shark because I saw the shape of the body and the snout, which is very different from the spinner shark or the dusky shark.
For me, for sure, it was duskies.
They look like black tips, but they're not.
The row is sparked by the lack of biopsies and the freedivers' strong personalities.
We like to make up our own minds. We're pretty hard on ourselves, so we only listen to ourselves, and we only have faith in ourselves.
Forget the sardine run, because if the sardine run's going north, you'll have more black tips. If it's starting south, you'll have more duskies, and we're really south. So the trick might be to go north and bait. Yeah.
Difficult anyway.
Yeah.
So the black tips are just gonna be whenever there is a gap.
So maybe tomorrow, if the weather permits, we just go north and we plan to bait instead of chasing the sardine run and see if we can bring some black tips in.
Yeah.
We should think about that tonight. Do a little thing up and...
Yeah, let's do that.
There's only one day left to perform biopsies. The team is under pressure.
It's very complicated. We have to factor in so many different things. On the one hand, we have the wild coast here in South Africa, which is very windy and the sea is rough. Plus, we work with a huge shoal of sardines, which depends upon currents and winds, and we never know where it's going to be. That's a lot of variables.
The next day at dawn, they head north, where the water should be clearer.
Marcus, all good?
To increase their chances, the team uses a PVC tube which contains hundreds of frozen sardines. Its smell should attract sharks. This time, no warning sign on the surface. They must take the plunge. The first to appear is an unwanted guest, a tiger shark. Will it deter the smaller sharks? The clear water provides answers. Dozens appear. Black-tipped sharks finally make an appearance. But the smell of sardines and the threat of the tiger sharks causes chaos and makes it difficult for Fred and Will to target them.
At times like this, you really need to act on instinct. You can't think about what's going to happen. You just rely on your gut and act according to what you feel.
Female or male?
Female.
Thank you. Please.
564. 028, 01, 500. You got that, Jess?
To obtain a significant overview of this population, samples must be collected from as many sharks as possible. Thanks to these biopsies, Jessica Escobar is able to prove that black-tipped sharks live in sedentary populations off the coast of the Indian Ocean. The sharks at the Sardine Run do not have the same genes as those in Mozambique. This valuable data allows reliable fishing quotas to be established. Thousands of miles from here, another scientist has heard about Fred and William's exploits. With their help, he wants to assess the genetic diversity among shark species in the Pacific Ocean. Fred now heads to Guadalupe Island off Mexico. Around this old volcano scarred by hurricanes roam the world's largest predatory sharks, the great whites. Each fall they gather near this fortress of basalt. These warm, clear waters provide refuge and prey, particularly young elephant seals. The isolation of Guadalupe Island protected them from the sealers' clubs in the 19th century. Since then, the island has become their refuge, a boon for predators. Fred knows the legendary reputation of these sharks.
The great white shark is clearly the archetype of the sea monster. This huge animal is both powerful and mysterious. Here in the middle of the ocean, we come face to face with humanity's primal fears: the unknown ocean, the cold, the dark, and animals we do not know, just like the wolf.
But sharks are opportunistic predators, and seals are a delicacy. Scientists have noticed they synchronize their agenda with that of the elephant seals.
The white sharks are patrolling this area in deep waters. And then they come to the surface in front of the seal colony and again to deep waters. They're waiting for these guys from their migration. They come from Alaska. They are here to give birth and to pop. And then they go to Alaska, and in 1 year they come back again. And the white sharks know that. They have a very, very thick layer of fat. And the white sharks need that because they have high energy requirements.
This incredible food reserve around Guadalupe Island attracts the great white sharks of the Pacific Ocean, a unique opportunity for Maurizio to pursue a comprehensive census with the assistance of Fred and William.
It's an animal that needs quite a bit of food, which moves around a lot, which migrates great distances. It was also overfished for trophies because it's a mythical animal and remains threatened. Mauricio Hoyos expects specific things from us. First of all, photo identification.
And it's better if they take a picture from the left side and in the right side, because most of the time the pigmentation is not the same. It could be one thing in the left side and another thing in the right side.
The second thing he expects us to do is to tag the sharks. either with an acoustic tag, to have an idea of the shark's local behavior, or with a satellite tag, to trace the shark's movements.
Let me know if you're ready. I can take you.
This is cause for hesitation.
Good.
Is it possible to freedive here without any protection and risk sharing the seal's fate? Can Fred see behind the myth of the killer shark and analyze its behavior? Will sharks make the difference between freedivers and pinnipeds, like elephant seals or fur seals? Fred looks back on his experience to find answers.
I've often had the opportunity to dive with fur seals. They're very graceful and also excellent freedivers. They can dive 400 meters down and stay underwater for up to 6 minutes. Once a fur seal has located a shark, it'll feel in control and totally comfortable. You often see one or more fur seals swimming around a shark and getting very close to the animal. They feel absolutely no danger. For us, it's pretty much the same. Once we have spotted a shark or group of sharks, we can work in peace because we know where they are and can watch out for their reactions.
Hang on.
It's there, Will.
Where? Just there.
There.
Which way? Right here.
There.
We'll first get into the water with the cameras to do the work of photo identification. And while doing that, we can assess the situation, see how the sharks are behaving, and what the individuals present are like. You can't help but wonder if the great whites will be able to tell the difference between a freediver and the seals which make up their diet. The first time you find yourself in the water without a cage and with a great white shark, the first thought that crosses your mind is, what am I doing here? After 10 seconds, that feeling disappears because you realize that the animal facing you is probably more scared than you are because it doesn't know what you are. It's also very curious and careful.
An opportunity that needs to be seized rapidly. Teamwork allows both sides of the shark to be photographed. Each diver moving into position in turn. Strangely enough, sharks seem to fear the freediver's presence. Are they really shy? Or is this just feigned timidity? Part of their regular hunting strategy?
It's being vigilant. Every moment you're paying attention, you're looking. They always want to come from the direction you're not looking. And the moment you stop paying attention, they figure it out and they come in. You know, for example, on a deep competitive dive, I'm completely relaxed and I don't care if I space out. Here, I'm always working to be relaxed, but I'm always paying 100% attention to everything. I'm always checking 360 degrees, and I'm always checking where Fred is relative to me, and he's doing the same thing.
If great white sharks were as dangerous as the legends say, they would of course be impossible to dive with. But we've got to demystify these animals. Even if it's a great predator and a dangerous animal, it is possible to be in the water and dive with the white shark.
Attaching the tag will be a decisive test. How will the great white react to the presence of divers bearing spear guns and to being hit by a dart? It's a world first. Before Fred, no one had ever provoked this super predator like this without any protection.
At some point, everyone will have some fear or apprehension. But what's important is to acknowledge this fear and to be honest with one's sensations. However, during the free dive, the fear disappears. There is no distinction between the body, the thoughts, and the physical sensations. The awareness of one's body and the surrounding environment come together as one.
Run out of tags with dart.
In 2 weeks, with the help of his assistant, Fred has tagged 8 great white sharks. It's a long-term project to get close to these predators and to gain their trust.
So I think that if you do not know what is below you, that's what scares you. But I think that it's changing. In the 70s, we just had that idea of the stupid animal, the man-eater, the monster. But now we're getting a lot of things about them. And I think that they are not monsters, they are just doing their part in nature. We should get more information about them because we are just in time to avoid the extinction of the sharks.
Scientists estimate that there are only 3,500 great white sharks left in the ocean. This estimate may seem very low, but several studies have come to the same conclusion.
They need to be protected, especially in the North American territorial waters. Fortunately, the tags placed by Fred Buyle have helped to resolve the mystery of the white shark's migrations. They gather in Guadalupe Island, but while males return each year, females only visit the island once every 2 years to mate. Then they stay at sea during the 18 months of their gestation. These studies have enabled the Mexican and American governments to define sanctuaries to protect these sharks that are as charismatic as they are threatened. The tags have revealed that as they get close to the coast of North America to give birth, females are highly exposed to industrial fisheries. The task is huge and the stakes are high. Every year, Fred is back to tag sharks either in Guadalupe or in another location. His reputation now precedes him. But he wants to go further, deeper. Back to where he started his first free dives, in the Azores. Beyond the green pastures, the volcanic islands of the Azores are mountains in the sea. These fertile lands arise from foundations several kilometers down below the surface and offer close to the coasts a unique window into the world of the deep. To achieve a childhood dream and to finally meet the ultimate free diver, the sperm whale.
To me, the sperm whale is a super animal in more than one sense. As a free diver, of course, it's an inspiration. It's the ocean's greatest diver. It can dive down 3,000 meters and stay underwater for 2 hours at a time.
Sperm whales live in all the oceans of the world, up to the age of 70. But to check the status of their populations, decimated by over 3 centuries of intensive whaling, scientists are taking a species census. One of their methods is extremely original, collecting organic matter, giving information on the DNA specific to each animal, like the scraps of skin that these animals sometimes leave in their wake. These patches of skin have the same density as seawater and need to be fished out. A job tailor-made for Fred Buyle.
So here we're trying to dive with the sperm whales in the Azores. But working with these animals is quite complicated. Ideally, we wait for them to stop and gather so that we can observe some of their more social behavior. Because if that's the case, we will be better accepted and can dive and work with them more easily.
Hoppa, nice.
Fun one.
Good. Yes. Okay. So, Fred, so there were four individuals. Did you saw the four?
Yes, we had three. There was one big male standing still. And the one I think the sample is from is smaller whale. Maybe a juvenile male or maybe a female, but probably a juvenile.
Since he is unsure, Fred will try to identify these animals before they plunge back into the abyss. Luckily, they gather right below the surface, a unique opportunity to photograph the whole group. It's a group of chattering sperm whales, communicating in a strange click language.
They have families and pods. A very elaborate language. We even think that their language is more evolved than ours. They have outstanding cognitive skills. I have the feeling they communicate with us, but we're not yet capable of communicating with them. It's a pretty strong feeling. This animal is very gentle with divers. It is careful when it comes close. You can tell it is paying attention. It looks like it's trying to make you comfortable. This apparent paradox between the marine monster's power and what it is capable of communicating during an encounter is really disconcerting.
The meeting is friendly. Sperm whales use a language unknown to Fred. He replies with body language, which intrigues the youngest animals. Being so close, Fred can see the circular marks on the sperm whale's skin. Could this mean that here in the Azores, the sperm whales hunt giant squid? It's a question that has remained unanswered for many years.
For me, the ultimate encounter would be with the giant squid. This animal is a living legend. Ever since my childhood, I've heard stories about these gigantic squids. We think they can measure up to 25 or 30 meters. It's both terrifying and fascinating. But I have a safe plan. So the idea is to go position ourselves in this area, where an upwelling current brings up all the nutritious particles. That creates a sort of underwater oasis, and that gives us a chance to see a giant squid. So listen, I'll dive and stay put around minus 50 meters with the lights and the camera. Just use the classic safety procedures. You wait for me when I come back up and check that the cable doesn't get tangled. When you free dive quite deep, you can feel the nitrogen narcosis that divers also call the rapture of the deep. It's really a way to refocus on myself, to be aware of all of my body's sensations.
Fred Buyle is a man facing the unknown. one who conjures his own legends, as he realizes that nothing in nature can be taken for granted. The only monsters that survive today are his own chimeras, our own chimeras. The ghosts of our imagination, ephemeral visions that bring us face to face with our ignorance. Paradoxically, this weakness may be our most precious gift.